What's good with it, Black Goose TV family? Double salute as always. It's your boy Fluence Boxing. I'm back at it again. I got some more Fluence Boxing news for you, and potentially I got some breaking news when it comes to a potential fight. But I'm gonna be 100 with you, man. I'm not even gonna cap on you. I'm gonna tell you right off the back. I don't believe it. I don't receive it, and I definitely don't see it happening when everyone is trying to say it's going to happen, when everyone is speculating, talking about. I think it's just, what I'm saying, something put out there from the promotional companies to keep the fight buzzing, to keep us anticipated for it, to keep us excited. But that's me being who I am. You know what I'm saying? I'm a skeptical guy. You feel me? Some people would even say sometimes I'm cynical. So maybe I need to go ahead and let loose and be like, yo, this fight finna happen. But I'm just gonna tell you off the bat, I don't believe this shit none. Now, my question is, what do y'all think? Do you guys believe this report? Everyone's talking about it. All the YouTube boxing channels are running with it, saying this shit is official, it's confirmed. I'm not going there. I'm not saying it. I think it's just a ploy for marketing to keep us talking about it, to keep it, I'm saying, their names in our mouth. So when the fight does actually happen, we don't feel like it's a long overdue type thing or too little too late on the Manny Pacquiao Floyd Mayweather Jr. side of the game. But y'all see it here, man. Errol Spence versus Terence Crawford is near completion for the November 12th date, or possibly November 19th. Now, that is why specifically I'm like, I don't know how much I can believe these reports. Because you're telling me you have two different weekends. You either have the November 12th weekend or the November 19th. So you don't have a specific weekend or a date in mind, but you're going to put these reports out. You don't see that often. Now, it does happen sometimes when a fight is big enough. And a lot of times the dates that they propose, it ends up happening a little bit later, but it happens, close to the dates that they put out there or alleged. You know what I'm saying? So, yes, we have seen it before, but it's very rare. It usually has to be with some of the biggest fights names out there. Now, some would argue that Terence Crawford versus Errol Spence is one of the biggest fights that need to happen when it comes to this year or when it comes to our era of boxing, period. So, yes, there's a lot of variables. There's a lot of things. There's a lot of different details that you can come back at me and say, well, my nigga, I could prove you wrong here. That's fine. But let me be cynical. Let me be who I am. And let me say that this seems like it's not finna happen. But fuck what I got to say. What do y'all got to say? Do you guys believe these reports that Errol Spence versus Terence Crawford is going to happen in November? I won't even say a specific date, but it looks like late November, mid-November, this fight is going to happen. If there's one thing that you can put your faith on, is that it's been speculated, it's been rumored, it's been alleged for almost the last 2 to 3 months that this particular fight was going to happen in November. So even though I'm talking shit where it's like, oh, November 12th or November 19th, the one consistent thing that has been ongoing with any of the information put out with this fight potentially happen is the month. November has been the month that they've been saying for a while that they wanted this fight to happen. So seeing the consistency when it comes to that in the reports, you can't argue like, well, this does seem legitimate. They haven't changed the month. It's just they don't know the particular day of the month. So, what I'm saying? I can't argue against that. It's just I'm going to stay cynical. I'm going to stay skeptical, and I just believe Errol Spence versus Terence Crawford does not happen this year. I think it happens next year. That's what I think. I think it happens sometimes next year, but, we'll see. You know what I'm saying? I'd love to be proven wrong because kind of like I said in the other video, in the other fight announcement video that I made, which I don't know which order I'm going to put this out in. So make sure you guys check that out. I said the same thing, or excuse me, not the same thing, but I basically said, I love how the boxing gods are really blessing us right now and putting together some fire ass fights for the, that are going to happen towards the end of the year for boxing, because towards the end of the year for boxing usually be more of a slower period. But it seems like we're in August right now. Like it's finna ramp up. Like in the next couple of weeks, boxing finna be going crazy. August, September, October, November finna be going crazy. December seems a little slow, which it always is, but it looks like it's finna be going crazy. So if this fight does end up being in November, nothing but blessings, love, and salutations to the boxing guys. But I just I'm not gonna get my hopes too high up for this joint. But it's not about what I think, it's about what y'all think. So what do y'all think? Do you think this fight is really going to happen? Do you think it's cap, or do you think it's fact, family? Let me know. And I'm like, look, don't just say it to yourself. When you're watching this joint and you want to express something, you want to let me know right then, call me out on my bullshit, say a controversial opinion, whatever the case may be, give me new insight on maybe some information I didn't know about. Drop it below in the comments, man. I encourage it like a motherfucker, you feel me? Notification gang as well. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, but subscribe to the channel, man. Road to 5K. A lot of y'all be watching this joint. Y'all ain't subscribed. So road to 5K for the end of the year. So show some love. But let's get into this article, man. Let's see if this article says anything specific that can definitely support the claims and support the reason why a lot of these YouTube boxing channels a lot of the media is picking up and putting out there in the atmosphere that we're probably going to get Spence and Terence Crawford before the end of the year, most likely in November. Okay. That's coming from Boxing News 24 by Craig Daly. Errol Spence Jr. versus Terence Crawford, undisputed welterweight clash is near completion for November 12th or 19th in Las Vegas. The fight is likely to be on Showtime pay-per-view. Dan Rafael was reporting the news of Spence Crawford fight negotiations being near completion. Rafael states that the undercard for the mega fight is already being planned, and we can see WBA regular welterweight champion Ian Montez Stanionis defending against unbeaten Cody Crowley. There's no word what the purse splits are for Spence Crawford, and it's possible we may never find out. This is a fight promotion that's going to require Crawford to come out of his shell to help market it because unified welterweight champion Spence can't sell the fight on his own. A deal for the unification fight between three-belt welterweight titleist Errol Spence Jr. and title holder Terence Crawford for the undisputed championship, the most in-demand fight in boxing today, is nearing completion and penciled in to take place either November 12th or November 19th in Las Vegas. Multiple sources told Fight Freaks Unite, although PBC is still exploring other potential venues, said Dan Rafael on his Fight Freaks Unite site. It was rumored recently that Crawford wanted $25 million for the fight. Whether PBC granted Crawford his wish is unknown, but even if Terence receives slightly less than that, he'll be making out well for a fighter that has a weak resume at the 147 level. That's a crazy thing to say, man. Get the fuck out of here, Boxing News 24. That's why I don't like reading your whole articles, nigga. Keep your opinions out of it. Weird ass shit. But according to sources, PBC believes it's so close to finalizing a deal that is already looking at possibilities for the undercard of what will likely be a Showtime pay-per-view event. Hopefully, PBC some intriguing fights to the Spence versus add some intriguing fights to the Spence versus Crawford card. While there's nothing wrong with Imantas Stanionis defending his WBA secondary 147 title against Cody Crowley, it's not the type of fight that would attract boxing fans that are sitting on the fence trying to decide to purchase the Spence Crawford card. Now that I actually agree with to an extent, because at the end of the day, a lot of people want to say, "Oh man, Bob is hating," you know what I'm saying? Because Terence Crawford sued him, and they might get the biggest fight of the welterweight era, at least of my era. When it comes to Terence Crawford and Errol Spence, and Bob Arum will be excluded out of it. Now, I don't think Bob is hating, man. I think he's just honest. I think he's saying, man, Terence Crawford is asking a lot of money. Earl's asking a lot of money. They both deserve that amount of money. But the problem is, even though they deserve the amount of money for the work they put in, just because you deserve something doesn't mean the people who are giving you the money is going to make their money back, right? And I truly believe, I don't think this is going to do crazy numbers pay-per-view wise. I think it would be smart for Showtime to stack the deck for the undercard because this is going to be a This is going to be a diehard, hardcore boxing fans' dream, Errol Spence versus Terence Crawford. And I've always been one of the people to, come out and say that, diehard fans, they don't drive the numbers when it comes to pay-per-views. Casuals do. So if you really want those diehard fans to come in numbers, tell people about it, have other people buy it, etc., we need to, I think personally, stack that Showtime pay-per-view card, man. Have at least 2 to 3 other fights that are known by hardcore boxing fans that are really good, so we can be really invested in it, and you'll get your money's worth. But I think if they go the route of Spence, which I think that's the case is going to be, we're going to see it very top heavy. And the reason why I think that is because they're going to be spending so much money on Errol Spence versus Terence Crawford. They won't have enough money left over. Well, they will have the money left over to keep stacking it, but it wouldn't make any sense because they probably wouldn't feel like they would get a return on their profit. So that's my personal. I think the undercard is going to be weak because all the money is going to go into that main event. But at the end of the day, us as hardcore boxing fans, we're going to buy it. We're going to watch it. But will it do the numbers that we expect it to do for something that's been anticipated to happen for the last 2 to 3 years? Y'all going to be surprised, baby. I'll be surprised if this shit breaks 600K. Some people are like, that's pretty good. Nowadays, now we're talking about one of the most highly anticipated clashes in the welterweight division in our era that we've been waiting for 3 to 4 years. It should be breaking at least 800K on the first fight. On this first pay-per-view fight, granted, there's no rematch. It should be at least an 800K pay-per-view. If it's not an 800K pay-per-view, how can you justify paying niggas $25 million each? Talk about it. But I'm going to leave it there, man. Let me know what y'all think about that. I might be on some bullshit. At the end of the day, I want to know, do you think this fight is really going to happen? Do you think it's cap? You think it's fact? Let me know below in the comments, man. You already know, notification gang. Subscribe to the channel. Road to 5K before the end of the year. Love y'all. Appreciate y'all on the Sports Nigga side of the game. I'll be back. But with more boxing. Stay blessed, not stressed. You already know the game. You already know the same thing, but a different